A long time ago, there lived in a far, far away country a crafty tortoise. In that land, there was drought and famine. That means there was no water and no food to eat. One day, the crafty tortoise thought to himself, I am here, very hungry, almost at the point of death. But there is a place in a far, far away country where I can get some food. So the tortoise set out to a far, far, far away country that had an oasis. When the tortoise got to the oasis, the tortoise looked around at the stately palms and the lush palm fruits on them. The tortoise climbed up the first palm tree and plucked some of the lush fruits. As he was about to put the juicy fruit in his mouth, the fruit fell off, and tortoise quickly scampered down after the nut, the kernel. When tortoise got down, tortoise found out that the lush fruit was rolling into a hole. But before he could get hold of it, the fruit passed through the hole. The tortoise was determined to get his lunch back, so he quickly climbed down the hole. Unbeknownst to tortoise, he had crossed from the realm of the living to the realm of the spirits. And unfortunately for tortoise, before he could scamper down from the hole, a spirit boy had already eaten up the nut. Tortoise was very angry. He got hold of the little boy and asked the boy to produce his palm fruit nut. The boy couldn't produce it, and the ruckus that was caused by the tortoise caused a crowd to gather. And tortoise didn't even know that the boy, the spirit boy he had accosted, was actually the prince, the heir apparent to the spirit king. The king heard about the issue going on and decided to go out to see what could be causing the uproar in his country. Alas, when the king got there, he found out it was his son that was in a mess. He tried to placate tortoise to no avail until he made tortoise a deal. He told tortoise, come, young man, in place of your palm nut, I can give you a drum, a magical drum that can make your wish come true. The ever so clever and crafty tortoise quickly took the deal. The spirit king took tortoise to the warehouse where the drums were lined up. He picked up a drum and gave it to the tortoise and told the tortoise that the tortoise should just beat on the drum with a stick and instruct the drum to give him whatsoever he wanted. Tortoise grudgingly took the drum, climbed out of the hole, and immediately he set foot on the oasis. He decided to rap the drum. Tam, tam, tam. And he gave the instruction, oh drum, what can you do? The drum said, speak on, tortoise. And the tortoise requested, I need some food. Immediately, delicious, sumptuous meals showed up. Pounded yam, egusi soup, black soup, palm wine, chicken, pepper soup, all what not showed up food. The tortoise ate to his food, and he decided that it was time to go back home. The tortoise took his drum and a stick and journeyed back to his village. Immediately the tortoise got to the village, he sent a message to the kingmakers and told them, look, the days of famine and drought is over in this village. Gather the villagers and try to make me your king, and you shall see what I can do. Well, the king of Tortoise's village was already hungry, so what did he do? He abdicated his throne for Tortoise to take over. And Tortoise, true to his word, rasped the drum every day and produced food, drink, fruits, and all sorts of delicacies for the people of his village to feast on. Soon, the tortoise got so proud that he needed an assistant to help him beat the drum. So he employed a youth, a comely youth. The youth was not so careful, and in the process of beating the drum, their skin tore and food didn't come out. Tortoise told the villagers, don't worry, I'll go back there, I'll get a drum for you, I am still your king. So Tortoise took another trip to the faraway land of the oasis. And when Tortoise got there, Tortoise climbed up one of the palm trees, plucked a nut, and threw it down the hole. When he scampered down the hole, he found out that though the prince found the nut, but the prince refused to chew it. He tried forcing the prince to chew the nut. The prince refused. He declined. Tortoise forced the prince to eat the fruit. Immediately the prince ate the fruit. Tortoise got hold of him and demanded a drum. When the king heard the uproar, the king came out and also brokered a deal with Tortoise for a drum. Now when Tortoise got to the drum storehouse, Tortoise went by himself and picked the biggest drum and told the king, don't worry, I know the rule, I know the drill, let me just go. Let me go. Immediately the tortoise climbed out of the hole. The tortoise beat the drum and instructed the drum to give him food. Do you know what happened? The drum instead produced masquerade, whip-bearing masquerade, who flogged the living daylight out of the tortoise. Tortoise was so bruised that he had to rest for some days in the oasis before journeying back home with his drum. When Tortoise got home, he assembled the villagers together and told them, look, I am still your king. I am with a bigger drum, and I made a bigger deal on your behalf. Don't worry, I am going back to the land of oasis, just as he appointed somebody else to beat the drum for the people. And because the villagers were hungry, they didn't even wait for Tortoise to embark on his journey before they instructed the new drummer to beat the drum. Immediately the drummer beat the drum and instructed the drum to bring food for them. Some masquerades, frightening creatures, crept out of the drum, all of them bearing whips, and they whipped the living daylight out of the villagers. The tortoise was not spared, as the tortoise was escorted back from his journey by one of the fearsome and very, very scary creatures. And Tortoise was beaten severely until his shells cracked. The moral of this story: do not be greedy, do not force your will on people, and When you are able to broker a good deal for the first time, if there is any need for you to make a deal, let it not be in your terms, but in the terms of your benefactor. This is my entry for the storytelling challenge for the World Storytelling Day. Thank you.